Every 12th of June since that fateful year of 1898, Filipinos come together to honor a day that changed the course of our history, our Independence Day. The year that stands as a shining milestone just as unforgettable as 1896 when the flames of the Philippine Revolution first blazed against Spanish oppression. But let us not forget another year where two of our historical events happened that greatly contributed in our history, the year 1872.
On January 20, 1872, around 200 Filipino soldiers, marines, and workers of the Cavite arsenal rose in revolt against the Spanish government, led by Sergeant Francisco Lamadrid. Unfortunately, the Cavite Mutiny was a failed uprising against the Spaniards.
It was said that on the same day, the district of Sampaloc celebrated the Feast of the Virgin of the Recto. The participants celebrated the occasion with the usual fireworks display, and those in Cavite mistook the fireworks as the sign for the attack. The 200 men contingent, headed by Sergeant Lamadrid, launched an attack for the Spanish officers at sight and seized the arsenal.
The so-called revolution was swiftly defeated when anticipated reinforcement from Manila arrived to assist the Caviteños. On January 22, 1872, the mutiny was officially crushed. Arrests and trials followed. Educated men were imprisoned for life, while three Filipino priests, Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, were accused of involvement. However, there are two faces of the story, one from Spanish perspective and one from Filipino perspective.
José Montero y Vidal, a prolific Spanish historian who documented the event and highlighted it as an attempt of the Indios to overthrow the Spanish government in the Philippines.
Governor General Rafael Izquierdo, in his official report, magnified the event and used it to implicate the native clergy, which was then active in the call for secularization.
Dr. Trinidad Hernandez Gildo Pardo de Tavera, a Filipino scholar and researcher, provided a Filipino perspective on the violent incident in Cavite. He believed the mutiny was exaggerated by Izquierdo and the friars, claimed it was actually limited discontent among Cavite workers and soldiers who lost their privileges, emphasized that friars used the incident to protect their political and educational influence since Madrid had plans to reduce their power and implement reforms.
After the Cavite Mutiny was crushed, the Spanish authorities led by Governor General Rafael de Izquierdo and strongly supported by the Spanish friars magnified the event as a large-scale conspiracy against Spain. They strengthened their control and silenced reformist voices. They accused the three martyr priests who were active in the secularization movement of being masterminds.
The priests were accused of treason and sedition, supposedly being leaders of the Cavite. The trial was unjust, evidence was weak, and testimonies were often false. The friars, fearing loss of power due to reforms from Spain, pushed to make them scapegoats. Despite protests of their innocence, the verdict was predetermined: execution by garrote.
Father Mariano Gomez, respected for his wisdom and advocacy for the rights of Filipino clergy. Father Jose Burgos, outspoken reformist who campaigned for secularization and criticized friar abuses. Father Jacinto Zamora, known for his strong intelligence and association with reform-minded clergy.
On February 17, 1872, at Bagong Bayan Field, the three priests were publicly executed. Thousands of Filipinos witnessed the event. Spanish authorities intended it as a warning, but it instead stirred outrage and grief among the people as they believed in the innocence of the priest.
The execution of GOMBURZA was not just a punishment. It was Spain's attempt to crush reformist voice. This planted in young Rizal a lifelong sense of mission against Spanish abuses. Later, in his novel El Filibusterismo, he dedicated the book to the memory of GOMBURZA, honoring them as martyrs who inspired his cause.
Let the memory of the Cavite Mutiny and the sacrifice of GOMBURZA remind future generations that freedom is never given easily. It is earned through courage, unity, and the willingness to stand against injustice.